This has officially turned into an absolute disaster. The crankshaft position sensor that's broken down in there where all the antifreeze is. So, in order to gain access to this on this 2008 Chrysler Pacifica, it takes a lot to be able to get to it. You can get the drill in there with a 90-degree chuck and a stepper bit, but you can't go in there straight enough. So in order to gain access to it fully, there is 3 18mm bolts down there on that plate. That one right there. 2 are on the top side, 1 is on the bottom side going into the transmission. Jack the transmission up before taking those bolts loose. Don't do what I did, because I thought that there was 1 extra bolt in there, and there wasn't. You take the last bolt out, it's a long one. The 2 on top are not very small, but not very big at the same time. That is about 1.25 inches long. Looks like maybe M10 or M12 threads. May even be standard, I have no idea. I took the wiring harness loose because it was hindering me being able to move power steering lines out of the way. It's where the PCM is. The center plug is the one, or not the center plug, but the second one from the bottom is the one that I took out, and that connector there. It's got this piece of foam inside of here. If it'll focus, maybe it won't focus. There's a hole right there you can see. That's where all the wires go through, from the engine to the PCM, from the body to the PCM, from the front end model to the PCM. The power steering lines, you have the return line, you have the pressure line. The pressure line goes in right there. It is 16. I used a crow's foot with a 14 or 16 inch extension. I'm not entirely sure which. Maybe it's a 12-inch extension, and a 3/8 ratchet. Broke it loose, spun it out, disconnected the return line. It's a 13mm nut that goes on. Focus. This nut right here, or the stud right here, it's not wanting to focus at all. There is also this one here that holds the strap for the power steering lines. I haven't decided yet, but I may end up having to take the coolant tube off. Goes to the reservoir, heater core, and then down up under the engine to, I'm going to assume, the water pump. Like I say, I just got into this thing, so I don't really know what all is needed to be done yet. And the wiring harness, this is a ground, needs to be reconnected when put back together. Had to be disconnected when taking it off. Here it goes. And it's going to be difficult to see anything. It goes right there. It's a 10mm. The upper radiator hose had to come out in order to get enough access to the bottom wire. Sorry, the ground wire. And to be able to put my big hands off inside of the hole here to be able to pull the wiring harness out. See the inner fender well. In order to take it out, you have 2 Christmas tree clips. Both of these broke, of course. There is 5 Phillips head screws there. They go here. here, 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 and here. Pull it out from... I don't understand why this phone stays focused in so far. It's probably because it's recording in 8K. You fold it out from behind the tire, roll it back, fold it back here behind the tire, make sure the wheel is turned slightly to the right. You don't even have to lift it up off the ground in order to do this, but it may make it easier. The bolt underneath, you do have to climb under it to be able to get to it. Let's see, what am I missing here? The bit that I'm going to be using is a 1/2 inch Milwaukee Cobalt. I think is what that says on the front of it. Yep. 1/2 inch Milwaukee Cobalt. Or a number 4 stepper to be able to get at least some of it. I have measured this sensor. This is a 3/4, so that's not going to be way too big. You can see the difference in size there. The sensor is much larger. But the main objective here is to drill the casing out that went around this sensor. This portion of the sensor is slightly larger than a 3/8 but smaller than a 1/2. So a $155 job is right at probably $500 right now. It's unfortunate that the company that worked on this thing last broke the crankshaft position sensor and refused to replace it. Now the customer is stuck having to replace it because it has a crankshaft position sensor code. It dies whenever they start it and runs like crap when it runs. So if you found the video informative at all, please like and follow and share, maybe even comment. I'll have to get another camera, that way I don't have to go moving around a lot and you can see what I'm doing instead of just hearing. 8K is nice being able to record in, but it doesn't do justice for this way close up form that it does here, even zoomed all the way out. It's 20 feet from the car, even though it looks like it's 5.